What's up, guys? Jumping right into it today. For years, I spent time just wasting time trying to decide, well, am I trance? Am I kind of a tropical house thing? And it's funny, I'll have to make a video on that sometime. It's funny how, like, sometimes you can be right on the pulse of something that's about to blow up. Like, I had no clue the tropical house existed, and there I was in Fort Lauderdale making basically kind of tech house with steel drums on top of it, mostly because if you've been to Miami, spent some time down there, you'll understand why with that. But and then a buddy of mine messaged me, I think from Seattle or Texas, I'm not quite sure where he was living at the time, but he's like, dude, have you heard of Thomas Jack, and have you heard of Kygo? And I'm like, no. And he said, dude, check out the Ultra Music Fest live stream right now. And I tuned in and I couldn't believe what I was hearing and seeing. And their sound, truth be told, was different than mine. But it was kind of sort of in the same arena. But anyways, my point of all this is, don't waste your time saying, well, I really like trance and I really like doing my own thing, which, for lack of a better way of putting it back then, was tropical tech, because like I just prefaced this with, it really wasn't tropical house like the world knows what tropical house to be. Just make them. Like, don't waste time in this idea that, like, you have to be one thing, because when you really branch out and you look around, especially nowadays, like, nobody is just one thing. You know, I've followed the career of Martin Garrix, and he went from basically big room, and it's not to say he doesn't play big room or electro or kind of that EDM first wave of popularity sound in the 2010s, but I mean, from what I looked up a few months back, he was largely like future bass and pushing like a future bass single on his website. So he's kind of really sort of like a Tiesto. He sort of just rolls with the times, and whatever, you know, people are listening to, he sort of creates a single around that sound and then pushes it. And I really like that idea as well now. The problem is, it took me almost a decade to make peace with that, and I strongly suggest that you do not do that. I strongly suggest you do not get stuck in your head that unless you've produced your entire track yourself, unless you've mixed your entire track yourself, unless you've mastered your entire track yourself, that it's not you, or you can't release it, or it's not authentic. Getting it done, in my opinion, is what's authentic. Moving on with it, just getting on with it, is what's authentic. If you need to hire an engineer to take the thoughts out of your head and onto paper, or in this situation onto screen, then do that. But the worst thing you can do, though, is get stuck in between two genres, like, well, I really like future bass and I really like house, and I just don't know which one to decide. Do both. Take a month, learn to make house, put out a track. Take another month, learn to make future bass or whatever it is, make it, release it. The worst thing you can do as an artist is to waste time doing nothing. So don't do that, please. If for no other reason, I mean, this video really has no monetary gain for me at all, or you know, give me your email address. Like, it's just a question of wasting time. You know, right now I'm walking around on some family's property right on the border of Florida and Alabama, listening to the birds chirp and pretty much waiting out this virus. And when I think about the time that I wasted overthinking the idea of what to choose, am I an uplifting trance guy or am I a house guy? Just a waste of time. It was a waste of skill. It was a waste of time. And you know, I get that you want to have consistent branding, and, you know, you do. You do. You want to, you know, be clear about what you're sending out into the world, but at the same time, at some point, like, I just had to come to the realization that electronic dance music is electronic dance music, and I'm never going to be somebody that only makes techno for the rest of my life, or I'm never going to be somebody that is only a bass head for the rest of my life. There's plenty of people who will be, and that's fine, but I was not that person, and I really would be careful about sitting too long on ideas. Your lack of action is what's stopping you. It's not your skill. It's not the fact that you like all different kinds of music. One of my favorite bands right now, the Dirty Heads, combines reggae and hip hop and very kind of like acoustic-y, organic instrument like acoustic guitar and bongos, like beach instruments. And they make it work. And they're interesting as hell to listen to. And they're awesome as hell. Why just do hip hop? Why just do California weed culture reggae? Even though the two are, I mean, you can see the blurry lines between the two and connect the dots. But why just do beachy music with ukuleles and bongos and acoustic guitars and basically things you can throw in your trunk and take to the beach and jam out around a fire? Why limit yourself? Do all three. Do reggae with acoustic elements and hip-hop, and mix all the different elements together and make album after album, and look what happened to them. Look at what happened to so many bands that did that. One of my most favorite bands of all time, Rancid, did the same thing with punk, reggae, and ska. And if you don't believe me, just listen to their Life Won't Wait album. I mean, there's Jamaica written all over that album, and there's LA punk and UK punk and New York punk written all over that album too. So don't sit on your hands. Don't waste time thinking, am I going to show the world my trance side or my house side? Just start doing both, because truth be told, no one's going to care right away anyways. So you're worrying about something that 20 people are going to hear. Just start producing and getting your skills down better, so when it does come time, people hear a talented version of you, whether it be very diverse or not. But doing nothing basically guarantees that you're going to continue to work at Walmart or wherever it is and sulk and sit and watch your dreams die and slip away. And I never used to believe it when people said that, like, when you get older, it gets harder. But, like, it does. Because you really can't, know what's going to happen in life. And I didn't anticipate my mom getting sick with cancer, and as an only child, my dreams of living on the beach and just being a super popular DJ had to be put on hold. And it's not like mom died and I got right back to work. When you suffer a devastating blow like that, you can't even begin to imagine, you think, yeah, I'll be depressed for a few days or a few weeks and it'll be kind of hard. Yeah, that's true, but you really can't even imagine the depth of it. So do what you want to do now while you can and while you have the health and the room to do so, because you never know what's coming in life. Did we ever think that a pandemic was going to sweep across the world and lock us down? Dreams of being a touring DJ right now are sort of a little bit on hold because there's no planes in the air. So something to think about. What we're living through is very special, and it's a good reminder that you better live now while you're healthy and while you can and while you have the idea and it's fresh in your head. And don't let things like money or having two good ideas be an excuse. If you have two good ideas, in this case house and trance, act on them. Don't get upset because you have two good ideas or because you're plentiful with ideas. Act on them. And not having money is not an excuse. Find a way. I'll talk to you guys later.